What's up, FFA? Who's ready to start this week? Make sure you go and check out the leaderboard posted for last week in the WhatsApp chat. It's going to be posted following this call this morning. So make sure you go check that out and cheer on everybody that found themselves in the top 15. On today's call, okay, we're going to expand upon what we talked about on Friday, which was what drives you. Now we're going to talk about 3 things that you need to become a great agent. So, question for you guys before we jump into this is, what is your goal for this week? Go drop your AP goal into the WhatsApp chat and hold yourself accountable to hitting that thing this week. So many of you guys are on track to just have a huge month of September. And then check it out, guys. We've only got October, November, and December left of 2025, which is insane. I feel like the year has just flown by, but we got 3.5 months left for you to lock in the Scotland trip, for you to lock in your goals for the year. So drop that AP goal for the week inside the WhatsApp chat. But let's do a quick call this Monday morning before we all hustle out there and start this week on 3 things you need to become a great agent. But as we jump into this, okay, verse of the day is Matthew 28, verse 19. It says, "Go therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost." We talked about purpose on Friday's call. And then this verse of the day popped up here for me on this app I have on my phone. It's called the Bible app. Check it out. It's really cool. It gives you a verse of the day, and then it dives into, expanding upon that scripture. There's videos of people talking about it and stuff. But what a coincidence it was that verse of the day follows the purpose call that we have, right? Giving us instruction to go out there, out into the community, preach his good word, right? And just be able to help people, guys. You don't realize the impact you have on everybody that you get to sit with, everybody that you get to talk to. And we have such a cool job where we get to meet so many people, and a lot of those people are on need, and they could just use a word of encouragement. And if you think about that verse and you go out there, you really could make an impact in a lot of people's lives today. But let's talk about 3 things you need to become a great agent. All right, guys. Number 1 is passion. All right. In that book that I shared with you guys, remember, it was Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. He talks about how without purpose, your passion fades. All right. So let's expand on passion just a little bit. What is your passion for being an agent? What's your passion for being an agency builder? Right, guys, if you go out every single day with that passion, the passion to accomplish the mission, the passion to hit your goals for the day, the passion to help people, you're going to become a great agent. All of the top agents from last week, they have the most passion in what they're doing, right, guys? When you lose your passion as an agent, all right, you kind of lose the purpose of it, right? Like you just get lost. You get in this hamster wheel of a rat race, right? And you lose the motivation, you lose the passion, you lose the purpose, you lose the identity of why you're doing what you're doing. So my question for you guys is going into this week is, who's going to be the most passionate agent out there? Who wants to help the most families? Who wants to make the most money, right? Who wants to change their life and actually accomplish what their purpose is? All right, that comes down to it, guys. If you want to be a great agent, you have to be passionate about what you do. All right, and here's a secret for you. Passion, I believe, can be a learned behavior, because a lot of you might be new agents, a lot of you might be experienced agents, and maybe you get burned out a little bit, right? You've been doing this for a while. Maybe you're brand new and it makes you nervous going up to random doors, random leads. Guys, that's how I was. I absolutely hated the idea of going and knocking on somebody's door that did not know I was coming and doing a door-to-door sales job. I did not like that idea, but I learned to love it as I did it more and more and more. When I started seeing the impact I was having on the clients I was helping, when I started to see the financial changes that God was providing for us through this job, I learned to love going door to door. right? I learned to love buying and investing in leads and going and seeing new people. I even learned to love it when people would tell me to go get lost, right? Because I knew I was one step closer towards finding the person that actually needed my help for that day. So passion in this job can be obtained. So if you're listening to this right now and you're like, man, this isn't what I pictured myself growing up and doing. Hey, me neither, right? But I promise you guys, you can become passionate. It's a choice that you get to make. And if you want to be a great agent, you've got to find that passion. You've got to find that drive, and you got to be able to go into every day energized and excited to start dialing those leads, right? Or to start knocking on those doors. Your passion is going to lead to you becoming a great agent, and it's up to you. You can be passionate about anything you do in life, or you could be negative, you could be pessimistic, you could be dragging your feet to go do it. That's going to lead to you being a bad agent. If you want to be a great agent, be excited, be motivated, and go out there and hustle. All right. So that's number one, is passion. Your passion level is going to dictate how great you can become as an agent. Number two, persistency. All right, guys, check it out. Persistency. What is the definition, all right, of persistent? It says continuing firmly in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. You have to have persistency as an agent if you're going to become great, because you're going to get told no more than you get told yes. More leads are going to shut you down at the door than let you in. More people are going to tell you no in the presentation than they're going to tell you yes. But guys, what if you went out, you did 20 presentations this week, and only half of them told you yes? Like, that's 10 applications. You do the math on what that means for you in terms of deposits and income, right? It's substantial. So you have to be persistent, guys. You cannot be the agent that is like, I've been out here for 3 hours. Nobody's at home. I'm just going to wrap it up and go home for the day, right? Or I've been out here. I've talked to 7 leads and they all kicked me out of their door. I'm going to call it quits. You have to be the agent that's persistent, continuing in the course of action despite difficulty or opposition, right? You are where you are based off of what you've done throughout your life. And if you want to take that to the next level, you're going to be faced with opposition, right? You're going to be faced with getting told no a lot. You're going to be faced with the choice of, hey, I've got to invest this money in leads so I can go make more money, right? You have to be invested into that and be persistent and overcome the obstacles if you want to become a great agent. I promise you guys, everybody that was on that top 15 chart from last week had oppositions the same as you did. The difference, though, what put them at the top of the leaderboard is they overcame those every single day, and they were persistent in what they were doing. So if you want to be a great agent, you have to have persistency. All right. You got to be able to overcome those challenges and not get in your own head about it. All right. Don't let your emotions dictate your activity, and you're going to become a great agent. All right. And then the last thing is progress. Guys, if you want to become a great agent, you have to consistently be focused on your progression as an agent. You should not be the same agent today that you were last week. You shouldn't be the same team builder that you are, today that you were last year. You should have progress. Progress contributes to you becoming passionate about what you do. But if you're not focused on what the next thing is for you, you're never going to go in that direction, right? If I woke up today and thought, hey, I have nothing to do, I have nothing that I'm running for, nothing that motivates me, what am I going to do? I'm going to sit on the couch, right? I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to have no progress. I'm going to become depressed. That happens to agents all the time, because you just go do what you got to do, right, to pay the bills and stuff. But you might not be actually focused on what's the next step in my career. What's the next promotion that I'm running for? right, guys? We've got that ladder to success for a reason because it gives you a clear path of progression. All right. And something to run for. So if you're sitting at this promotion level and you got to hit X amount of dollars in production to hit the next one, focus on that progression. All right. Become better. I remember being an agent in the field full time and just door knocking, right? And the most I could do is sit with like 3 people a day, 4 people a day. And the most AP I was getting out of that was like $5,000 to $8,000 a week. And I wanted to level that up. So what did I have to do? I had to progress. I had to go from just door knocking to setting appointments plus door knocking, sitting with 6 or 7 people in a day versus just 3. And boom, everything doubled. Production doubled, my progress doubled, right? Income doubled. But I was focused on that progression, right, guys? If you do the same thing every day, you're going to get the same result. And before you know it, 3 years are going to go by and you're going to be in the same spot, all right, that you were at 3 years ago. And that gets depressing. That's what leads to burnout. That's what leads to you maybe not feeling fulfilled as an agent, feeling like you're not doing good. You got to be focused on progression. And to hit your progression, you have to have that persistency like we talked about on the last slide, right? Maybe you're an agent and you tried to do some team building and you had some agents quit. You know, you hired a couple, trained them, they didn't work out, and now you're back to not hiring again. You're preventing your own progression because you're not being persistent in overcoming the obstacles, right? The obstructions that are in your way. You're allowing those to make you stop. And it's only the agents that are going to overcome that are going to hit their progression, right? That are going to hit their promotions and hit their goals like so many of you are doing, right? So many of you guys are on track to hit new individual records this year, but so many of you are on track to hit team records this year because you're constantly focused on that progression. So if I ask you to come on this call, guys, you should be able to say, hey, I'm running for this promotion. I'm going to hit it by this month. This is what I need to do to hit it. Having that focus is what's going to lead you to become a great agent and not become complacent. All right. So think about those 3 things, guys. We got progress, persistency, and passion. If you go into this week with all 3 of those things, and then you go into the next week with it, and the next week and the next week, you're going to be shocked at where God puts you a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. All right. That hard work is going to work. It's going to be rewarded, but you got to run into every single day with those 3 things on your mind. So I appreciate you guys for jumping up on here. We're going to wrap it up there to kickstart this week. We will be back here on Wednesday. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday. We're going to have somebody else lead the call and have some agents come on for a Q&A. So appreciate you guys for jumping on here. Let's go start the week.